Welcome to I'm From the Internet, podcast about somethingawful.com, the goons, and their consequences. I am disgraced comedian Winslow Domain, sitting here with internet historian Jay Brandstetter. Jay, how have you been, man?
I've been doing really good, all things considered. I've been having to kind of re-upload some old episodes this past week, but in a way it's been making me appreciate how far the show has come and like how much progress it's made. It makes me really excited about, this new part of it and kind of talking about stuff off of the forums.
Yeah, one of the companies we work with messaged us and said that our podcast was too woke, so they had us take down a bunch of stuff, and they got real fussy with it. But we're complying. We removed all the wokeness, and now we are proudly woke free. We're just going to do a bunch of episodes about Horst Wessel.
Yeah, today's episode is brought to you by beef tallow. Beef tallow, it's in everything.
Yeah, I did see a guy on the bike trail the other day reach into his backpack and pull out a Slim Jim the way you would a katana. And I was like, this dude fucking rips, man.
That was fucking roll.
That's good, man. I'm glad you're doing well. We're working through some podcasting woes, but we're getting it done. Yeah, and it sounds like Fred's doing a bit better.
Yep, Fred's doing much better. He's all healed up. We're both looking forward to the fall. He's been moving around, going places. We've been going out again. We got our van fixed up. So in general, we're looking forward just in time for it to start snowing. So we have like about a month to enjoy ourselves.
You gonna take him to the apple orchard?
He likes blueberries a lot. We might go to like a blueberry orchard or something because New Jersey is like a blueberry state. They're the biggest export, I think.
You could put him in a pumpkin.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to tell me if these jokes go too far. I don't mean to objectify him.
Oh, not at all. No, that's
it's just I don't have a lot of opportunities to talk about a human being that is this small. It's sorry.
Yeah, no, I said it before. It turns out we're not going to do it because originally we were going to be Carl and Meatwad from Aqua Teen for Halloween, but I'm not fat anymore, so now I have to figure out a different costume. So, because he said when he was a kid, he liked Meatwad because Meatwad kind of sounded like him. He has that high voice, so I was like, yeah, I get that. Or like SpongeBob too. So that's a very fun aspect of those characters to me now.
That's funny that he's just like he looks at Meatwad and he's like, just like me. I'm a little Meatwad too. That's funny, man. Yeah, a furry but for processed meats is a funny idea.
like a food fighty or something. Like people who saw food fight at a formative age.
A beefy, Yeah. The furries for vegetables would be a thing.
I have seen some people do that. Like I've seen like an anthropomorphic coconut once where it's just like a coconut man. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fun. They're just furries for just anything. Furries for like a bowling ball.
Yeah, there's this really weird like late 80s Japanese animated movie called The Flying Luna Clipper that was animated entirely on MSX microcomputers. And the whole premise is it's like all the people are anthropomorphic fruit. So there's like a banana lady and like a pineapple guy, and they're like fruit furries. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very odd.
So you're saying that Seth Rogen's Sausage Party is actually an homage to a previous Japanese film? Is that what I'm getting here?
Yeah, I'm saying Sausage Party is anime.
Yeah, exactly. I read the manga for Sausage Party. I didn't watch the anime, but yeah, man. Well, I've been hard at work on astute listeners know what I'm referring to. I'm not giving out the name just yet, but it's what I'm calling Project Zersitzung. I get it wrong every time. Project Zersitzung. And if you're on the Discord, you know a little bit more about it, but I've been taking some extremely upsetting videos and photos. I recently went to Albuquerque and got a few good shots out there, and I'm moving forward with a bunch of other stuff. I started the pod. I showed Jay some of the unpublished video for it, and it's fun. I am not coming up for air after finishing The Restless. The next game is even more upsetting and visceral. So it's gonna be fun.
It is. I'm very excited about it. I've gotten to contribute a little in my own way, so pretty.
Yeah. He contributed a little bit of. You your little snippet in the video reveals that you have like these beautiful man hands.
Oh yeah,
you have like these really strong, intense tendons. And
I used to have like very soft like sausage fingers, and now I've gotten like much stronger fingers because like there are muscles in your hands. As your grip gets better, your hands change shapes. Now I have like I do a lot of like gripping and lifting with Fred to move him around, so it makes sense. I have practical grip strength.
I'm like genuinely jealous because you have like these intensely beautiful hands.
I could be your hand model.
As a hand guy myself, so that's fine. Well, shit, man. I've been working on that. If you purchased the game, the Restless. There's an extra joke that I haven't revealed to people that is gonna be out soon. I suppose I can tell people here, but I had to create the stamp that's going to be put on the side of the cardboard box that all the games are shipped into me. So this is the box that's put onto the pallet, and the pallet's put onto the container, and the container ship comes to me, right? By the way, the order of games that I made is 3,000 copies, 18,000 pounds of board games are going to be shipped to a U-Haul storage center near me, which is a stupendous amount.
When you get it, are you going to climb out, just lay on top of it like Huel and Breaking Bad with all the money? Be like,
I mean, I did it with the last one where I was like, it was just this thing that was taller than me in every package off of the box for the tarot deck, right? Where they delivered like a Volkswagen of tarot cards to me, and it's just so much, and it was starting to drizzle, and I carried in every single box into my house by myself. That was the whole thing, but. No, the side of the boxes, I have to put like a picture of what's in of what the game looks like, the manufacturing date, made in China, stuff like that, and I have a little seal of authenticity that has my face on it, and it just says wins the domain genuine product or real good counterfeit, which I think is really funny. So.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm in the New York Times again, as well as Live Science Magazine and a few other publications. Washington Post and I think the Boston Globe are going to feature me, or not feature me, but they have quotes from me because apparently a group of anatomists have determined beyond reasonable doubt that the Chicago rat hole that I popularized in 2024 is a squirrel hole. In fact, it was not made by a rat, but by a squirrel. I didn't come up with the name rat hole. That was the person I was there with. So that one isn't on me technically, but I did have some pretty fun interviews with various papers today, and they were like, do you think that it matters that it's a squirrel and not a rat? Do you think that will change anything? And I just, I can't remember which paper it is that I told, but I was just like, Marilyn Monroe wasn't her real name, but Norma Jean captured the hearts of a nation. The Chicago rat hole can do the same without being a rat, like it's
I saw the New York Times article this morning. I just didn't send it to you because I figure everyone's going to send you that article. So I was like, you don't need one more person sending it to you.
Yeah. It looks like I'm just looking now that I'm going to be in some other video. Whatever. Cool.
Fun.
Moving on up, baby. One hole at a time. All right. And we have been going at it for a little bit now. Yeah. And I know that you have a very substantial one for me today. So why don't we take it away, J-Dog?
All right. Yeah, this is going to start our first foray into a non-something awful internet history. And I wanted to sort of break down with one that I thought was kind of thematically appropriate, because today we're talking about horse eBooks, which is also a famous internet thing that kind of underwent a transition of its own. And I'm hoping, you'll see the parallels as we go through. Hopefully, I'm hoping to avoid.
I don't know how plugged in you are to any, when you were younger, were you ever into, symbols? or like, or symbolism or secrecy, or like maybe not even like Freemasons, but like,
oh yeah, like when I was a little kid, one of the first, like when I was like 7, I used popsicle sticks to make like a little wooden like standing thing, like a pencil holder, but then I gave it a fake bottom so I could hide stuff in it. Like I've always loved the idea of like little hidden compartments and tricks and stuff like that. Like I was making Hulk Hogan meat shoes basically back in the day.
Homemade Hulk Hogan meat shoes. HMHHMS. For me, like a very critical part of the way I think about everything all the time, and we've talked about this before, is that I think that sentimentality is a secularized version of holiness, where any object that is made extremely sentimental to you takes on its own personal holiness, right? And one of the channels through which sentimentality is like reified and deified, I suppose, is through symbolism. And so like I know so much about like runes and Nordic mythology, and also Nazi symbolism, and also religious symbolism. Like if you've ever seen a painting of a saint, but their halo is a square and not a circle, there's a whole history for that. Sometimes there's a different history if the halo is a full disc and not just a ring around their head. And like Jesus has a different kind of halo. And, you know, sometimes you'll see like Ramses is holding up a reed, and maybe like he has like a fly swatter type of thing. And like all of these different things are like symbols of their lives. I grew up obsessed with the way that saints were depicted, right? And so I can't help but look at the first image that you have brought up here of it appears to be not a tarot card, but it's a simple drawing of a horse, what appears to be in heaven. There's some sort of Roman like ruins behind it, but it is a horse galloping through clouds with a clear blue sky, and there's kind of radiant lines coming out of the horse. There's 2 trumpets, one with kind of a pinwheel poppy flower and one with a star, and then above the horse is 33. And like all of these things are triggering all these different terms in my head, because 33 is like the 33 degrees of the Freemasons, right? The highest level that you can get in the Freemasons is the 33 degree. And the angle of the bullet going down to hit JFK was 33. 33 degrees from the top of the building to JFK's head. So I can't help but look at this, and like my brain rot has put all of these other images into my head.
Yeah, no, that's very much what this is attempting to do, because this is kind of what Horsey... I'm not going to get too hard, but yeah, this is an image from later in the Horse eBooks project. It is supposed to be a tarot card, a false one. Okay. But yeah, that's why it has sort of the format. It's viewed at an angle, so it doesn't look as long, but yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
We should clarify, this is Horse eBooks, not Horse eBooks.
Yeah.
Not books about
horsey sauce.
Yeah.
Nice. You both followed that. Yeah. So we're talking about Horse eBooks, which was a Twitter account that grew to a great prominence in the early 2010s. And so I guess before we go into this, do you have any personal experience with Horse eBooks? Like, was it something that was on your radar at the time?
I saw little bits and pieces of it, and I do know the one of the lines, which was everything happens too much, or something to that effect. And while I do really, really like the strange profundity of misheard lyrics or mistranslated things, I think we've mentioned in the past that like the Finnish version of the DuckTales theme song was then retranslated into English, and well, it's not retranslated. There's a YTMND.
The proper term for that is mondegreen. Mondegreen is the term for basically misheard lyrics, when you think something is something else because you mishear it. Yeah, when we do the episode on animutations, we're going to learn a lot about mondegreens. That's a whole phenomenon based on that.
Oh, I can't wait. That's so cool. So, okay, DuckTales had a theme song. Dun, 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 DuckTales, DuckTales. When it was translated into Finnish, it's the same rhythm to the same DuckTales, but those words, when you listen to them, sound close enough to English that somebody else on YTMND wrote what they thought was being said in English after listening to the Finnish version, right? All of that said, one of the pieces of it was this line where it says, "Morphine makes the holy known, duh, duh, DuckTales." And "morphine makes the holy known" is one of the coolest sentences I have ever heard, right? So there's a vibe from Horse eBooks that kind of fits some of those things, where it feels like weird. What's the word for when a sentence ends in a place that you couldn't predict from the start? There's a word for it.
I don't know that word.
You can refer to Emo Phillips, his joke, where he's like, "I love going down to the park and watch the children run around and scream because they don't know that I'm using blanks." You know, like where the conclusion is such a big twist. There's a fancy fucking word for it, and I know I'm frustrating somebody. I'm sorry.
An abrupt left turn.
No, there's maybe, a $64 word. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the vibe of that from this, and I don't know how well it holds up, and I don't know the whole story. So,
that's fun. Yeah, this conversation we had earlier is going to lead pretty well into that then. And I guess most of the ones I've already written a couple of our other non something awful ones, and they're pretty straightforward. This one is a little more wandery. So I'm just because I'm getting to start this one. So my opening here, it's in the Something Awful years, we talked about a Mount Rushmore of people and events that happened here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start Horse eBooks with a different landmark, the Old Man of the Mountain. I wasn't familiar with this until a little recently because I grew up in Florida, and this is a New Hampshire landmark. So Have you ever seen this old man before?
I haven't seen that one. Have you seen the elephant in the elephant rock?
There was actually research this maybe led me to a very fun Wikipedia article, rocks that look like people. And I just found a whole bunch of famous rocks like that I was looking through.
Yeah. It's wild because Elephant Rock is like, son of a bitch, that's an elephant. If I were 10,000 years ago, I would be like, that must be where the elephants come from. I'd be from the only 10,000-year-old caveman from Jersey. But yeah, it is a rock face coming out of the side of the mountain that does slightly resemble, I guess, the side profile of Eustace Bangs from Courage the Cowardly Dog if he had a pompadour. So
yeah, this is like a very Mr. Incredible, all right angles type face. Yeah, very masculine.
Yes, very masculine.
Yeah, and so this is a naturally occurring rock formation in New Hampshire. It looks like a face viewed from the side, and it's a major icon for the state. It's on their state emblem and their state quarter.
Really?
Yeah, this might be the first time I saw it was when I had that state quarter. It's
so nothing. It's just a rock that looks like an old man. That's the best thing that they have in New Hampshire?
Well, I guess I associate New Hampshire with like nature and stuff, so it makes sense they would want a natural landmark as part of what is their state quarter.
Now I'm trying to see if you can't spell the word nature with New Hampshire, but you can spell it wrong. You can spell it nature, N-A-S-H-I-R-E. We're the state of nature. Live free or die.
Yeah, especially the stone face combined with live free or die is very ominous. This is like something you find like in a cult compound.
It's so brutal. It's definitely the funniest thing to have as your motto. So it is dear listener, it is the remotest silhouette of an old man's face. It does not it's just like, imagine a rectangle of rock jutting out from the side of a mountain, and then in the more or less middle of it, there is a half a triangle, I suppose, shooting out from it that makes kind of a nose, and then the bottom juts out a little bit, the top juts out a little bit, and so it is barely a face. It is, you're not seeing eyes, you're not seeing lips, you're not seeing anything like that. It's just like, it's nothing, guys. It's so funny to put this on your quarter. Oh my God.
It is relatively slight, but it is like a big important symbol for people in New Hampshire. So as it's a theoretical, I want you to imagine, what if in the early 1900s, Marlborough secretly bought the Old Man of the Mountain? And then over the years, they surreptitiously chiseled the face in the mountain to resemble that of the Marlboro Man. And then one day people woke up and there was a giant Marlboro cigarette in his mouth and a little machine to make it puff smoke. And there was a big banner telling you to buy Marlboro cigarettes. That's basically what a guy named Jacob Bakula did to Horse eBooks. And that's what this story is kind of about, is how this guy, the story of the original Horse eBooks, how he took over it, and then how he ultimately turned it into this promotional thing that, as we'll find out, didn't have nearly as many fans.
I am of two minds of this because, like, I hate it when things turn out to be an ad. I also need to run ads in order to make my business work. Like, I'm presently trying to figure out how to run the ads for my next game, which I think are going to be really cool and spooky. But I hate when something is just another product that you have to buy. So yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating, but I understand.
No, that is a good note to bring that up. Yeah, I didn't really think about it as much while I was writing, but there is going to be some overlap with what you're going through now. So yeah, I want to make it very clear. Like, you are actually a good version of some of the stuff we're talking about here. I want you to think that this is me subtweeting you like, oh, Winslow's trying to promote his little project. I'll show him. Like
yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Yeah. Not for you, but for other people. Dude, we can't get into the story. I've already distracted you enough. But I'll give you the TLDR of one of the most bizarrely frustrating things in my life. Whenever somebody, like, is really shitty to me, like on a friend level, I've told my mom about it. My mom loves to do the thing that moms love to say, which is they're probably just jealous of you. And I always say, no, that's ridiculous. That's just like schoolyard shit. I'm not going to like fillet myself by saying that, oh, they're actually so cool and that's why they're trying to harm me. But at one point in time, I did have somebody like trying to quiet cancel me in the Chicago comedy scene. And the person that they were trying to like turn against me, they didn't realize that it was one of my friends. And so my friend was just like, okay, so like, tell me more. Why do you think that Winslow sucks? And like, they interrogated them and like pushed them into a corner kind of thing. And I have screenshots of somebody saying, well, he didn't actually do anything. He's just more successful at selling his art than me. And I think that it's bullshit. And so it's just one of those things where I'm just like, this is actually a thing that happens. People will just be like, nah, and like try to hurt you and try to like fuck with your friends because they don't like that your bumper stickers sell better than their little comic books or whatever.
It feels nice to have someone admit it, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I was just like, well, you suck, but I'm glad that you admitted it. How strange.
Yeah, now you know just what to tell your therapist.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. Anyways, keep going.
So a creative director at BuzzFeed took a naturally occurring little internet wonder. I know that calling a spam bot naturally occurring is a bit of a stretch, but I'm being a little poetic with my metaphor here. It's something that sort of ambiently arose from the background noise of the internet. And he took over it to promote his stuff, like we talked about. This isn't something we can blame on algorithms or some opaque tech company.
It's one dude.
One dude who did this for a specific creative project. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start with this story. You know, when we talk about one of our things is like, why is the internet shittier now? And we have talked about like companies and stuff. But also, I think it is fun to see like even something that's pretty understandable, the way that people will make choices to maybe try and promote their own brand, but in the end kind of compromise the thing that people discovered in the first place.
Right.
All right. So a little table setting for the year. This starts in 2010, which is when Horse eBooks was started. This was a year after Tosh.0 premiered, but 2 years before Gangnam Style. This was the period where the line between online entertainment and regular entertainment was starting to break down. Like, you know.
I was rather freshly out of fucking high school. That's interesting. Yeah, and like, I had an online presence, but I had yet to understand that I could actually be a person online. I always just like, you're kind of right in the money here where it's like, I thought of myself as individual Winslow Domain, and you can also talk to me on the internet. And now I have like my life and my online life as like these big aspects of my existence. And that was 2010, and you can kind of see how it changed between then and now.
Yeah, it is very, that's one of the differences we wanted to highlight in our little mission statement we had, I was looking over. So yeah. And Yeah, and Tasha Point in particular, I never watched that show. I never liked it. But like one thing the effect that it had was it kind of demonstrated to the greater entertainment world that if you can find something like a viral person on the internet and get them to dance for you, some of that virality will rub off on you. That's basically what the show was. It was like, hey, I found Demonius X. I got him to say a catchphrase or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, as the rat hole guy, it is a funny thing of people like reaching out, to cover the thing of the moment. Like I am very well aware that I am the squirrel on the jet ski from Anchorman or whatever, or on the water ski or something. And where it's just like this silly thing that everybody around the office is talking about. Now you see it on the news. And what that does for the news channel is it gets people to talk about things that are super cutting edge and present in the immediate conversation. And for the people involved, like myself, it is a way of like elevating whatever it is that you're doing. Most people are just like, I was a brief meme on the internet and then my life went completely back to normal and now I have something I mention at parties for the rest of my life. But for other people like myself or that woman who was like, ain't nobody got time for that, I think like that actually kind of like helped her get out of poverty, from what I recall. So it is an interesting way of like, there's I'm sure toxicity and nightmare bullshit to this kind of pursuit, but it does help people in ways. So yeah.
And I guess somewhat fittingly, Something Awful was one of the first places to discover horse eBooks. John Hendren on Tuesday, April 12th, 2011. He writes, Horse eBooks is a Twitter bot designed and automated by apparently some Russian guy to sell worthless, horrible ebooks about horses. In order to avoid being detected as a spam bot, it occasionally posts a text snippet or two from one of its ebooks, chosen at random. I will never buy an ebook from it, but I will follow this Twitter account until I die or horses become extinct, whichever comes first. And with that bit of context, he also includes some highlights here. So I figure if you want to alternate between reading these, we can go through these.
I'll go first. Frog.
How to teach a horse to sit, give a kiss, and give a hug.
The secret method behind teaching your horse to walk on his hind legs. This never fails to impress onlookers.
You meet a guy and he seems really nice. You'd like to get to know him, but he doesn't ask you for your number. No way.
Black Fury is the touching story of Chance, a young girl who saw something special in a beautiful black.
Alcoholism.
How to throw a horse.
Famous crab. Aren't these great?
It's just so good. Oh fuck! What's my next one here? Okay. The only charting I do is of my winnings. Nothing.
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
Make a special sauce so your dog can share in the festive season.
Bitten with the bug at age 9, she has spent many years looking for ways to support her horse habit.
Pollen. Almost every kind.
Almost.
Oh, fuck. That's so good. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think How to Throw Your Horse is really funny.
Yeah, every time I go back to something like this, there's always that worry that it's not going to be as funny as ever. But no, original horse ebook still fucking rules.
Yeah, God, there was some website where you could put in a chunk of text and it would translate it back and forth between 10 languages and then spit out the result. And I think it was probably, I seem to recall it was done as a way of like talking about how the Bible has changed since its first translation or whatever. But it is always a very interesting route to like learn new ways about how people talk. I mean, this is why I end all of my Instagram posts with aquam spicere alligatoris, which means to thicken the water of the alligator. Just because I think it's funny, and it's also just like it implies a greater degree of seriousness, and then the people that look up what it actually means are like, oh, God damn it. You know? So yeah, no, these are really funny. I love this kind of stuff. Meshuggah, that the insanely good technical death metal band Meshuggah, they have a song where like it's just nonsense lyrics, but they scream in a way that makes it sound like they're doing like the usual Meshuggah death metal lyric content, but it's just like, excuse me now, I'm in love with a door. And it doesn't, like, when you listen to it, it's just a metal song, but when you read the lyrics, you're like, oh, these guys were just goofing around. Yeah, it's funny. Early Meshuggah, like, there's a lot more goofing around than there is in late Meshuggah. They serioused up, as the kids say. But these are funny.
Yeah, they are. And the actual account itself, the Horse eBooks account, linked back to this spammy ebook affiliate site. It's down, but I was able to pull it up on the Internet Archive. And this is 2010. So between the iPad and the Kindle, ebooks are kind of having a moment as a new income source. A future episode we're going to do at some point is probably on the Kindle porn boom and the MLMs that sprung up around it. Because like one of our previous guests, Hot Dad, he actually wrote those at some point. So we have somebody who has an in with those we can talk to about it.
Oh, that'd be cool. It'd be good to talk to, what's his name? Not Dick Trickle, but whoever writes those, getting my whole fucked out by the concept of linear time or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, Chuck Tingle.
Chuck Tingle, yeah, Dick Trickle. I'm sure that there's some through line there that's pretty interesting. But yeah, absolutely, that sounds good. I'd love to chat with Hot Dad again. I've had his song, Are You Afraid of the Dark, stuck in my head, which is like a genuinely hauntingly beautiful song from a guy who makes a song about a penis-eating virus. So, yeah, big fan. We should get him on again.
Yeah, and the most depressing part of this page for me is seeing the bestsellers. It really illustrates like the type of insecurities that the audience for this is for. They've ranked like the 10 most popular ebooks. It's all like women, how to get men to like you, how to lose weight, Christians, how to have sex, and like also there's the pregnancy ones are really embarrassing. How to choose the gender of your baby, shockingly effective.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I, as someone who digs through the overflow bullshit books in every thrift store that I visit, you see some absolutely insane covers. And also let me tell you, for the research I'm doing for this next game, some of the book covers are just insane. Look at David Icke's cover of the David Icke's Guide to the Global Conspiracy.
I mean, getting to that graphic design on purpose sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so good. It's like you don't have to be good. You just have to have Photoshop 4 to make any of this shit work. But yeah, these are really shitty covers of books that I don't know if you've ever like looked into. I can't give away too many details, but if you look into specific ultra niche online communities of like rare illnesses or any kind of paranoid conspiracy stuff, if you're looking up books about Vril or Orgon energy on Amazon, you can search for self-published stuff. And if you look through a bunch of them, you can buy like $10 books, all these $10 books. And then before you buy it, you'll look and you'll go, this book is 25 pages. And it's just printed by like a machine that like they don't actually have a stack of them. It's just like it's like a custom order, and they just like and then they print out this tiny little 25-page book, and then they ship that to you, which I think is just so funny.
At some point, someone was print on demanding Wikipedia pages, which is really weird.
Oh God, that's funny. Jeez, yeah. I have so much homework to do. I have so many ideas in my head, but yes, shitty ebooks from the Kindle book boom, which I was around for. I used to work for Barnes & Noble during the Kindle boom and their Nook boom, and I stand by the Nook as a superior product to the Kindle, but we don't need to get into that.
I have a Kobo. I totally stand by that. Yeah, if you're going to get e-readers, you don't really need to get a Kindle anymore.
Yeah. The Kindle or the Nooks were cool because they were really open source. You could put all sorts of stuff on there and expandable memory, and you're not bound to buying things off of Amazon. Like that's why I like the Zune. The Zune could play so many different file types that the iPods couldn't, Yeah. Anyways, that's my spiel for a company that fired me like 10 years ago. So
Yeah. Now, another fun thing about this new show format is we get to quote people that we've actually heard of now. I have a quote here from Casey Green, which is fun because, of course, someone asked him
Big
about this
fan, love
phenomenon.
Casey.
Yeah. He said, it's completely absurd snippets that almost read like a horse is trying to use a computer. Or maybe a horse was given a computer brain and access to Twitter, and this is what comes out. And I think he was prompted this as part of the article because somebody had edited one of his comics to be horse eBooks quotes, and it works really well.
And what we're looking at is a horse floating through the air as the sun sets. It's very he's so good, man. He's so good at like where to put shadows on these really silly drawings. He's looking at horses from all these different angles. And so it's just a 3-panel comic where a horse says, "Have you ever admired beautiful wild horses? Let me ask you a question. How do objects and images move? How can animals?" How do objects and images move? How can animals? I mean, it's the Lewis Black line of he overheard somebody in conversation. If it weren't for my horse, I wouldn't have spent that year in college. You know, it's so good.
Oh, that you probably could have gone really far with that fan theory back in the day that Lewis Black is actually behind horse eBooks. He's trying to make us, he's inflicting it on us.
I love that man to death, but he has given up. He has, all of the comedy that I've seen coming from him lately has just been a mess. But anyways, yeah. Love it, but that's too bad. Anyways,
yeah, that's comedy.
Yeah, that's comedy.
Yeah, and like in horse ebooks, it wasn't just funny; it was something that inspired people to create things. Like there was a horse ebooks fanfics collection, like community. People were selling like on Etsy because it's also when Etsy was blowing up. There was stuff like someone was selling little leather embalmed charms of the horse ebooks quotes, like this one: "I was a 475-pound cab driver." Or you can choose other quotes from it as well.
One, you did say leather embalmed charms, which I think is a very different thing.
Yeah, I've been playing too much Planescape.
We're looking at a leather embossed charm here, but let's see the quotes. "I'm not a sommelier. I'm not a wine snob. Heck, I don't even work." And "I am the undisputed king of cash, and I am utterly free." And God, that sounds like it's from Drill. "I was a 475-pound cab driver, and who else wants to drive around using water as fuel and laugh?" These are all really good. Yeah,
they are. Another one I wanted to shout out was this cartoonist Burton Durand. He made like an entire webcomic where he would make comics based off of individual horse ebooks tweets. We don't have to read them out loud because reading comics out loud never works in the show, but they are cute and fun. Just another example of like, yeah, a lot of people were inspired by this thing.
Yeah, it makes me think of, do you remember Inglip Summoned?
Oh yeah, that was where people are taking captchas and making it like this little comic about an elder god named Inglip.
Yeah.
Summon Pale
because there's somebody back in the day when your CAPTCHA wouldn't just like read your credit card number or whatever the fuck it does now. It would have like a little morphy text and it would ask, "What are these letters?" Right? And it would just be 2 random words just kind of like morphed. And one person had one that just said Inglip, INGLIP, summoned. And they were like, that sounds ominous. And so they made a little comic for it. And then that spawned a huge subreddit that was really active for a while. I submitted stuff to it of just like you would have a CAPTCHA and then create lore for whatever those 2 totally random words were. Yeah, it was interesting. I always wonder with these things. The system that they have put in place is just like it picks 2 random words, presumably from a bit of text that they're trying to read. And like trying to digitize, right? Like This is how you can decentralize digitization of text. And I wonder how do they do that without having any problematic words anywhere in any of the texts for any user. You have to have this comprehensive list of problematic words, and I've always wanted to see that list.
That's what the next National Treasure movie is about. Nicolas Cage is going to steal that list. They have all the cuss words on, even the ones we don't know yet.
Yeah, the Technology Connections did a thing about how you used to be able to plug a device into your TV and it would automatically censor all the text coming in. And then somebody did a breakdown of it and used a Raspberry Pi computer to get the original text from it and like they have this laundry list of different terms, and they have like specific codes in there so that the name Dick Van Dyke doesn't get hit by the censors, because previously it would have been blank Van Blank. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
I remember that was like an early V-chip goof. Was it censoring Dick Van Dyke as penis Van Lesbian in the thing? They were specifically trying to avoid that happening this time.
Yeah. That sounds like a Twitter name, penis Van Lesbian. Yeah.
And also, just to really cement like how much of a phenomenon this one, former guest K. Thor Jensen listed it as the best Twitter account of 2011 when he was writing for IGN. So yeah, there we go. It's 2011.
Yeah. God, and it's just a woman looking at a horse. So yeah, I keep going because I'm curious as to who made this and to what, because some of those quotes were like so funny that it strains credulity as to like how random these things are.
Exactly, yeah. And people, this is around the same time people did start to get curious because, when the internet gets fixated on something, it likes to try and wikify it. Where does it come from? How can I classify it and such? Eventually people are like, who is making this? And so eventually this Katie Natopoulos on Twitter, I got their tweet here, goes, I couldn't stand the mystery anymore. I went and purchased a horse eBooks. Now I know his real name. Feels weird. From the 4th of June, 2011, where they bought one and the name on the purchase is Alexei Kuznetsov. So now we have a name attached to horse eBooks.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like when people figured out Drill's name. It's like, I don't fucking care.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It's just like when he did his face reveal, I'm like, so it's just some old man? I mean, he didn't do a face reveal. There was just a reveal of a face that people think is him, as far as I know. And it's like, don't ruin the mystery. It doesn't actually do anything for me. But yeah, so now we have a name, but that does not necessarily mean that this Russian person is writing all of these really bizarre tweets.
Yeah, like right off the bat, Kuznetsov is, I think, like the third most popular surname in Russia. So right off the bat, some people were speculating, is this like a John Smith situation, especially because a lot of his information wasn't valid. But Adrian Chen from Gawker, who has shown up on the show before in our notes, did some digging, and they identified Alexei Kuznetsov and tracked him down, but he declined to be interviewed. So I have some highlights from their article here for Gawker. On November 26, 2009, someone calling himself Alexei Kuznetsov and claiming to live at 11 Lenina Street on Moscow registered the horseebooks.com domain through GoDaddy. The email address was dead and the phone number too short. So on my personal blog, I offered a $50 bounty for someone to visit 11 Lenina Street and report to me what they found there. This angered some hardcore Horse eBooks fans who have an intense sense of connection with this robot, springing, I think, from the fact that so much of Horse eBooks' charm relies on the reader's own imagination to intimate some sort of reason to its lexical madness. All day they vented over-caffeinated rage at the prospect of Horse eBooks being unmasked. A woman offered $200 for someone to go to my apartment, quote, and find out whether or not he can take a shot to the nuts. Another user suggested that, quote, finding out the truth about Horse eBooks might kill you, or someone might kill you if you keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, like, I all of these people are just kind of taking the piss. They don't actually think that it's going to get anybody killed. Obviously not. But I do think that, like, it is very apropos that we're doing this on the day that, I've been interviewed 3 times about the fact that the rat hole isn't actually a rat. And it's like, I do not begrudge the scientists who did the anatomical research to figure out whether or not it's a rat or a squirrel, right? I think that that's a perfectly reasonable thing. And if you're an anatomist and you want to bring more light to your field of study, that's a brilliant idea. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I do think that, like, this kind of thing of, it reminds me of, was it, during the hockey scores thing where, like, some lady was just like, go my minions, take down this stupid hockey scores song and replace it with a better one. It wasn't hockey scores.
It wasn't hockey scores. It was the Fred Durst Department of
Fred Durst. You're right. Yes, where it's just like, this joke isn't for me, and so I need to stop other people from laughing at it. It's like, I don't know. You don't need to know who this person is. Just leave it alone. But whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. So consider they did eventually track him down. So here he is. He's in his 30s. That's a very Russian-looking man.
He looks like God, he kind of looks like that guy who made that extremely awful reel of him trying to get on Saturday Night Live. But he also has like a little bit of the Mark Zuckerberg hair. So he just looks like a lot of Williamsburg soft boys, but he's in an oversized suit. Yeah, he's
jeans and a suit jacket.
Yeah, jeans and a suit jacket. Very sparse decoration in his place here, but whatever. Yeah, he's just a guy, short, curly hair, wearing a suit jacket. What are you going to do?
And so Alexei is a web designer by profession, and Horse eBooks is part of a large network of ebook affiliate sites that he was running on his own in addition to his sort of day job of designing websites for clients. I was able to dig up his portfolio from his website, and you can kind of see, like, there's the Horse eBooks site right in the center of this thing, along with, like, some charity. Some of these are most of these aren't English language, but some of them are. So you can just see he worked on some stuff.
He did, but we are very much looking at the 2010s version of the internet, which is kind of what my website in high school looked like, which was just like very rudimentary everything. For real heads know, what is that program? It's Dreamweaver that you use to design a website and then upload it. This is one of those things that's just like, it's if there's a car dealership in your neighborhood and it's just one guy that owns the car dealership, it's not part of a whole thing, go to their website or go to the website of like a local news station. You're going to see the same degree of development. These are not big fancy websites. They're not streamlined at all, but they do satisfy the needs of,
look up the website of whatever's listed on the printer your office uses, and this is what your local printing company is going to look like.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and also just to add a little mystery to this, at the very end, they update. Hours after I contacted Alexei on Sunday, Horse eBooks tweeted, "Event developed" on the 19th of February, 2012. So
yeah, so okay. I mean, it's still, to what degree Alexei knows English enough to know that what he's saying is like really funny and off kilter.
Yeah,
we don't really know.
From what I understand, the reason why is because this text is it's the text from the ebooks and some other. The way that these spam bots work, from my understanding, is to avoid being detected as spam bots, they will post just snippets of text that they harvested elsewhere from the internet to try and pass as humans, while also posting snippets of text from the ebook that they want to promote with links and such. So the idea is that this flies under the radar long enough to hopefully get a few sales before it gets flagged as a spam bot. Part of why Horse eBooks lasted so long is it never tagged anybody or really messed with other accounts. It was just kind of churning away on its own, making these tweets with links in them. So it never got taken down. Then eventually it became a phenomenon on its own. But yeah, so this was just a it was kind of like almost like taking like a giant boggle board. It was just kind of shaking up these phrases and putting them out, and just occasionally some of them were just really funny.
Okay, so we don't really know exactly how weird it is, but I have a feeling things are about to turn.
Yeah, so Jacob Bakula bought Horse eBooks on September 14th, 2011. And the exact day that it uploaded, you can see the change in the post. We can start from the bottom and read up if you want to alternate like we did earlier.
The tip you have all been waiting years for, the answer to the question, how do I get rich with AdWords?
Learn the true insider methods to AdWords, the one used by the upper percentile.
AdWords Miracle Guide.
Get more gold to improve your frontier today.
Start using this now, even if you're level 1.
You will undoubtedly look back on this moment with shock and
delicious mud.
But that horse rental place was closed now. Mysterious reasons were given.
Yeah. We're reaching this thing where it's like it's really hard to manufacture ancient weirdness or like true confusion and true mistranslation. Like it is a challenge to write things that are creatively stupid or creatively strange, because it is more than just like I saw 100 zebras that were all bright purple and they all had mohawks and they played the guitar. It's more than just like random bullshit. There has to be like a milieu of believability where it does invite you to have other thoughts. And sometimes it's very necessary for the foundation, like the lore that you're laying out. Some of it has to be very dull because that places you in the world. And there's a lot of like fantasy worlds in video games or in whatever, where like every single person is a fire breathing warlock wizard, and everywhere is completely chaos and full of dragons. All of that's kind of annoying, and it loses its magic if every single person is a warlock. But then you have stuff where, like The Witcher or Lord of the Rings, where like the vast majority of the people are just meager peasants farming to survive. And then a couple of them go on to do extraordinary things. And that's what makes the story interesting. And so when you go into this trying to make every single tweet viral and interesting, you're just going to dilute everything else, you know?
Yeah, and also like another illustration of this is one that got quoted a lot was I will make certain you never buy knives again, with each word capitalized, and that's from 14th of September. It looks like when they took over. So this does, like, there is I will give it credit. This wasn't handwritten. Most of these are pulled from other sources of text, because part of the people being into this was they would try and figure out the origin of some text. So they would find out where these were originally pulled from. But like but curation is is an act of art, an expression in itself. So even though this is being curated, somebody is picking and choosing these now and presenting a very sort of clear vision of what they want, like this sort of ARG-ish mysterious aspect to it.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
We have a quote from John Darnielle of the Mountain Goats, if you'd like to read that one.
I gotta say, the charm is in the accidental quality of it. When they start having full sentences or seeming cut off to the point to get laughs, it's less funny. I think I stopped following Horse. I have enough people in my timeline who will retweet anything funny enough to merit me seeing it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I did notice it does lean very heavily on the abruptly ending sentences thing, which was very funny in the original, but people noticed that. I guess to sort of go against it, though, I do have a quote from Gawker, a writer, Max Reed. He goes, I get the distinction. It's kind of a signal noise thing. Like, it's cool when it's us inventing signals out of noise. It's not cool when it's all signal masquerading as noise. I think the shift is more in our heads. We started looking for the signal and then decided it was all signal. Like, I don't know, noticing that some clouds have shapes and then starting to see shapes in all the clouds, and then deciding that someone has a cloud machine. Are the clouds more shaped, or has our response to the clouds changed?
And I do really like the idea that he is a writer named Max Reed. That is
Arthur
really
character
funny.
Escaped into our world.
I'm an illustrator named Max Drew. That's funny.
And also, I forgot to mention earlier, one of the reasons why people could tell something had changed was before this, the posts were made via a third-party program. Now they were being made via web. So where the posts were being made from changed after takeovers. People tell, okay, these are coming from somewhere different. But some people are like, no, just the software updated or something changed. It's still the same thing. And I have Jeb Lund was a quote here. He didn't buy the takeover theory. And you want to read that one?
In short, the most outraged and negative theory was that a human being subverted the creative process by disabling a spam bot and deciding to use his or her own imagination. Somehow this act ruined it, an act for which the only proof is the essentially meaningless tag indicating where the tweets originate.
Okay, I mean, who cares, whatever, but essentially meaningless tag indicating where the tweets originate is pretty fucking important to this story. It does make me think of when the Twitter account called Boston Antifa was posting about how, like, they need to make the NFL out of tofu now, and everything needs to be gay and queer, and only the gays own the NFL now. And they did a whole thing. All of these dipshits got really up in arms and mad about how dare you touch our football. The location tag for it, back when Twitter had this, said it was from Vladivostok, Russia, because it was part of a fucking disinformation campaign that actually exists, and leftists and right-wingers absolutely cannot handle that fact. The Russians were actually using a disinfo campaign against our election and trying to get as many people upset as possible. It's a documented history. It doesn't mean that Hillary is off the hook.
Yeah,
it's a really whole takes fucking thing.
It takes the fun out of rage bait now, knowing that people do it on purpose like that. So it's like, oh man.
Yeah, it's like, that's why, like just the other day there was a woman on Twitter who was genuinely posting about how, like, if you are a woman with gray hair, you need to dye it because that's not attractive. And this spent 2 days just like flailing in the throes of agony because everyone was like, "That's stupid. You're stupid. Women with gray hair are unbelievably hot. What are you doing?" And then they just spent like days just like, protesting against anyone who would disagree with them. And it's like, that's real rage. That wasn't rage bait. That was just a person with a stupid opinion, and then they went down fighting. And I actually respect a stupid person more than someone who is pretending to be stupid to get clicks.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm glad I had those quotes. I just wanted to illustrate that this isn't just me operating from hindsight. At the time, some people noticed and speculated on the change to the point where some people were pushing back against it. It was, there was ongoing discussion.
Yeah. Plenty going on.
Yeah. And I mentioned earlier that Jacob worked at BuzzFeed as a creative director, and BuzzFeed was one of the people who were reporting on horse ebooks and are arguably responsible for all of its rise. You might be thinking, isn't it a conflict of interest for a BuzzFeed director to buy a website that BuzzFeed has reported on and then continue to report on it as if they weren't involved at all? And the only acknowledgement I could find from that was in one of the BuzzFeed news articles. They say, "We have a total organizational separation between editorial and our often brilliant creative team. I didn't know about it, and I didn't know anyone in editorial who did." So, I mean, nobody knew about it. So, I mean, I guess I can't get mad at the individuals, but it does, like, as they're gone now, I guess, but it's like still just like,
Yeah, well, it's BuzzFeed. Yeah. So it goes.
Yeah, and just sort of, I have a collection here. I made some fans, like an listicle assembled some of the best highlights. These are like the post buyout ones. This is kind of an example of the ones when Jacob's helming it. So we want to alternate on these again.
You are reading.
As you might know, I am a full-time internet.
Everything happens so much.
Unfortunately, as you probably already know, people.
Inside every dog, there exists a perfect.
Avoid situations.
Yeah, each one of these is, obviously these are the highlights, but you can tell that these are written for the millennials on the internet at the time, because a lot of them were a full-time internet. A lot of them were overwhelmed by everything happening so much. A lot of them were asocial, unfortunately, as you probably already know, people. And then all of them love their doggos. So inside every dog there exists a perfect, and they're also, again, asocial, avoid situations. All of those fit into the exact type of internet person that was very dominant at the time. And they are still there. They're just on Blue Sky now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that they're starting to be curated for an audience.
Yeah. I guess this did make me a little curious. Like, were you ever pulled into any kind of online mystery or ARG when you were growing up? Like something like this where people were speculating on this?
I wouldn't call it a mystery because it was like, it could only point to one thing. But when Nine Inch Nails was releasing their album Year Zero, they had a really interesting ARG that went along with it, that they had some concerts, and if you looked at the letters on the back of the shirt, like the tour dates, some of them were in a different kind of gray, and it spells out "I am trying to believe." If you go to iamtryingtobelieve.com, there's a different website for that hides another message. And then there's all of this other like paranoid conspiracy stuff that was filtered into this whole thing. They at concerts would leave flash drives in the bathroom for fans to find, and then go home and they would find text files and all this stuff. So yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I would count that as mysterious, because it was just an ARG for an album that came out that was really cool, but that's kind of all it was.
Yeah, in my experience, the best ARGs are the ones that don't try and hide the fact that they're ARGs, and are just this is the ARG for Tron, this is the ARG for Batman, this is the ARG for Halo 2 or whatever. Instead of just having fun with that concept without being no, this is real.
Right. Yeah, that's when it gets a little bit obnoxious.
Yeah. I think the one experience I had with that when I was in high school, there was this website where it was a countdown. It was this fiction thing where this guy was on the run from government agents. And he had this picture or something, and I was following it, being I wonder what the countdown's going to be. And he got to the countdown. He's I got this picture, and the picture was the side of a boat, and on it was photoshopped Noah's Ark 2. And the premise of the story was the government was trying to build a second Noah's Ark because a flood was coming. And I was all right, I'm never falling for that one again.
Noah's Ark 2 is really good.
Yeah.
That's
you see why that stuck with me.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I've been watching a show called Outer Range, and there's certain parts. It's really good. I like a lot of it, but there's certain parts of it where I'm just like, oh, this is just a stupid thing that you put in here because it's the only way that moves the story forward. We can't kill off this character, even though everyone has a perfectly good reason, motive, and opportunity to kill them. Because that would be the story would stop then. So yeah, I am aware of when they just trim off a bit of the credulity for the purposes of an ARG, and it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the most infamous one would be the last Star Wars movie where Palpatine coming back was in a Fortnite thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Literally in the movie, all they get is a guy walks and goes, somehow Palpatine has returned. If you want to like hear the transmission of him, you have to play a Fortnite tie-in, and that's where it's in. So, like, I don't need to defend that movie, but still, it's just, what a choice, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit now that is, in order to get people interested in engaging in like the whole of a franchise, you need to make it like central to your entire life. Like, in order to get ready to see Endgame, I just needed to see a variety of Marvel movies that came out over the previous decade. And now if I want to see whatever the next big Avengers thing is, which I don't, I would need to have seen multiple seasons of TV shows and like put all of these stories together to understand the next slop that they're going to churn out with Rodney with Robert Downey Jr., Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah.
We finally we brought him back with AI.
Yeah, brought him back with AI,
Deep
and now
fake
he's
Rodney
getting
Dangerfield.
even less respect. Yeah. Last time I gave a urine sample, there was an olive in it. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's gotten to a point where it's just too much. I want to play a game and that's it. Maybe I'll read a little bit about it. Like the new Silent Hill, the storyline is baffling, and I'm like, how are people getting all of this information about the story without telling you? The game has like a journal that you're supposed to pause the game and read the backstories of the characters. No, you should tell me that, right? Like, if I'm watching a movie and I find out that there's a Wikipedia page that explains the story of the movie, the writing of that movie is insufficient. You got to tell me what your story is with your story.
Yeah, a lot of games took the wrong lessons from Dark Souls.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Like at least Dark Souls has like interesting and rewarding combat. Silent Hill F, I hate the fact that like the right-wing gamer Nazis have made it like they're screaming about it because it's like it's anti-man or something. It's obviously that's stupid, but there are so many atrociously bad game design choices in this game that have made it a supremely frustrating play. So if I don't like it, it's not because I'm against women. I just don't think that Silent Hill should have objective markers. I think that's really fucking stupid. It is
stupid. Very funny that they somehow found a way to be mad at a Silent Hill game that stars a Japanese schoolgirl. That feels like exactly the type of thing they'd be clamoring for in any other situation.
Well, yeah, but these are not people like satisfaction of want is not built into their ethos. Like they can't, because then they have to give up the fight.
Yeah, it's all grievances.
Yeah, it's all grievance all the way down. So, yeah. Anyways.
Totally, yeah. And so this continued until September 24th, 2013, when Horse eBooks finally broke format and posted a YouTube video as the account's final post. And the YouTube video they account was a link to a YouTube account called Pronunciation Book, where they had a video how to pronounce Horse eBooks. So this was a sort of a reveal, because Pronunciation Book was another account that Jacob had made. It was a riff on, at the time, pronunciation guide channels were kind of a thing. And there were even multiple parody ones of it. It was a pretty popular thing to riff on. So yeah, this was his.
I remember the one for Richard Dawkins, and it was Richard Dawkins, there is no God, Richard Dawkins. And then Chipotle was just Sean Tootle. I'm going to go to Sean Tootle. And so those have been in my head for fucking 10 years.
The one I'm always going to remember was how to pronounce a Phoebophile, and he just goes, pedophile.
Pedophile. Steve, cut that out and use it. You could put that in anywhere. Anytime we're talking about somebody problematic.
It's the Law and Order noise. Dung dung. Pedophile. We're gonna make our own Brass Eye special out of it.
Exactly.
And it was pretty successful. It has over 250,000 subscribers, and it had almost 1,000 videos. This was something that on its own, grew to its own thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's not nothing. It's just hard to dismount. You know?
And eventually with Pronunciation Book, they had started counting down 77 days before this, just like how to pronounce 77, how to pronounce 76. So people have been speculating on this for months. Like, I think the most out there fan theory was that this was actually promotion for a new Battlestar Galactica, because they thought some of the words tied into the lore of that show. It was a very speculative time.
Yeah. Hey, the words that would have to be tied into Battlestar Galactica that I'm looking at here are yes, veterinarian, vinyl, tsundere, Macklemore, banana, ohm, and you mad. So good luck with your. I don't even know how to tie all these things together. What does tsundere mean?
It's like the anime girl that likes you but doesn't want you to know it, so she's mean to you. It's a Helga from Hey Arnold. That's a tsundere.
Okay. Yeah. So there's something to veterinarian, vinyl, Macklemore, banana, ohm, tsundere, you mad. I don't know. Whatever. That has nothing to do with Battlestar Galactica. These people were just reaching.
Yeah. And so we've been recording for over an hour, and I think, how about this seems like a good place to break. And when we come back, we can restart with the How to Pronounce Horse eBooks video that sort of segues us into what this was all building up to.
Yeah, well, dear listener, we're doing a new segment. We did it, I think, on the last one as well, where we are going to, we have a little blip of our lives where we talk about a cool thing that we're doing or something that we've been getting into to blow off steam because the internet is poison, and we talk about that after the show notes, so you fuckers will listen. We do have a Patreon. It is $1 a month. We're putting stuff up there constantly. We have really big, interesting, fun stories from Jay about other parts of internet history. They are full episodes. It's not just two dudes dicking around. All of that money from the Patreon goes to Jay and producer Steve. If you want to support me, I am Winslow Domain at winslowdomain.com. I am Winslow Domain on Twitter, and on Instagram, I am Calculations. You can find us at iftipod@gmail.com, iftipod on Twitter, and we do have a list of potential show topics that we would love you to add your own ideas to, and that is in the show notes. And I think that's all for that. But Jay, where can they find you?
I'm Jay Brandstetter on Blue Sky. My link tree is in the show notes. Also, one thing I want to start doing is I want to start putting in a call for listener responses, because now that I'm more on top of my writing, I actually have things planned out a bit more. So I figured I can solicit people. If you have some sort of personal connection to this you wanted to share, or some sort of bit of history, or even just like a personal one, by all means, just send it in. The topics we're gonna be doing our future episodes on is, of course, there's horse ebooks. Next, we're gonna be doing Home of the Underdogs. Eric conveys an emotion. We're gonna be returning to the Crackhead Clubhouse to talk about Kratom. And also, I have one from 2003 called Mark Mitsubishi. If you don't know what that is, you're going to love it by the time you learn about it.
Oh boy, we got to find some sort of psychonaut to talk about Kratom. We should get an old friend from get Marcus back up here.
I actually reached out to him about that, about maybe doing a crossover episode. It seems like, because the Kratom one, it's less body horror and more just like really depressing lives. So it's like I think they can add some levity.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, this has been good. That's us. And Jay, you're Jay Brandstetter basically everywhere, right?
Yep. And also, I guess one more thing, is also, I guess, if you want to ask us general questions to that, we might do that as like a Patreon thing. And regardless, it's at iftipod@gmail.com, and try and do one topic per response, and include the topic in the email subject so I can organize them.
Yeah, just let us know, and we will. We're both relatively open books. We'll talk to you about things, and I love to blather. But I've been working a lot on all of my stuff over here. I know I mentioned I have that infrared camera that I've been fucking around with, and I've been reading a lot of books for research purposes. But I have been dicking around a little bit with the game Vampire Survivors, which I know I've mentioned to you. I don't know if I've mentioned on the pod yet. It is an exceedingly simple but exceedingly large game. That is, it's just like a straight video game dopamine injector, because all of the big feelings that you get when you kill a monster and it spawns all of these treasures on the ground, and you level up and you get the new power up. It's just hyper condensed that into a 30-minute burst of just killing 50,000 monsters at a time. It's very stupid, and fun. It is barely a video game, but it is still something I've been doing to take my mind off of how badly I'm getting fucked by the system. But that's what I got. I don't know if you have anything fun over there.
I do, yeah. It has tons of content because it kind of blew up in early 2022, and the developers, kind of like the Blatcher developers, like, well, I'm independently wealthy now. I'll just keep working on this game and supporting it since people like it so much, and just get tons of updates and everything. Yeah. And I guess mine, I also have a game to recommend too. I guess mine is I played through RoboCop Rogue City in a couple sittings. It's really fun. It feels like an Xbox 360 game, kind of like it's a first person shooter. You have hubs, but also levels. There's way more like story and role playing stuff in it than I expected, which is good because I really like RoboCop, and I don't like how some of the stuff doesn't take like the satire or the plot stuff seriously. No, this is like a better conclusion to the RoboCop series than the RoboCop 3 movie with the ninjas and the jetpacks.
Yeah, that sounds... I know that's a game where you actually get you're even more effective if you shoot the bad guy in the dick. Yeah,
that's one of the first things I did that game. I shot a guy in the dick and got an achievement for it. It's like an instant kill. And it plays like the gunfights in the old RoboCop movie are, where you're basically bulletproof. So you're just kind of walking around slowly, having your health pinked out. You're just like doing burst fire with your Auto 9, mowing down creeps in various warehouses. It's very fun.
Yeah, and they dropped a trailer for Dawn of War 4, which I'm eager to see what that will play like. But I've just been picking around at a few things while working on the game and all that. But that's all. Oh, yeah, I also played Shotgun Roulette, but we can talk about that another time. So that's all for us. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week with more books about horses.
All right, take care.
I'm From the Internet is created by jaybrandstetter and Winslow Domain. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Isbrook.